I want you to take a look at this Kamala Harris-esque moment from AOC when she was asked about China and Taiwan.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is a, this is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point.
Not exactly convincing, was it? AOC wasn't the only one. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer also struggled to answer a question on foreign policy.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like?
Ambassador? No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
You know, I do think that Ukraine's independence, keeping their landmass and having the support of all the allies, I think is the goal from my vantage point. Go ahead, Ambassador, do a better job.
Even she admitted someone else do a better job. Joe Concha joins me now. Joe, look, these two are supposed to be potential 2028 White House contenders. I mean, that was the most unconvincing performance I've ever seen in what was a pretty friendly environment. What say you?
Absolutely, Ashley, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I think particularly AOC disqualified herself as a potential commander-in-chief. Her answer on China and Taiwan, which you just played, made Kamala Harris's word salad sound competent and coherent. At no time during her rambling, incoherent response did she come close to anything resembling a rational thought. I counted, just in that clip you just played, Ashley, 7 uhs or ums in the first 12 seconds before she actually got to something, I guess, resembling what she wanted to be an answer. It was like watching an unprepared sophomore in high school trying to get to a minimum time count during an oral essay. And now everyone in this country is dumber for having heard it. And Gretchen Whitmer did no better as far as her answer as well. Potential presidential candidate, certainly a vice presidential consideration. Foreign policy, I know that doesn't tip the scales necessarily in presidential elections as much as they probably should, but those clips you just played there have gone viral, and it ain't good for AOC or Gretchen Whitmer. That's certainly for sure.
One word, painful. But let's move on, Joe. Democrat Senator John Fetterman is criticizing his own party's treatment of the Save Voter ID Act, especially when they refer to it as Jim Crow 2.0. Watch this.
84% of Americans have no idea with presenting IDs to vote. So it's not like a radical idea. So I would never refer to the SAVE Act as like Jim Crow 2.0 or some kinds of conspiracy. But that's part of the debate that we were having here in the Senate right now. And I don't call people names or imply that it's some kinds of things, something gross about the terrible history of like Jim Crow.
Mr. Fetterman from his basement, apparently. You know, Joe, look, the public overwhelmingly supports voter ID. So why is the left so vehemently against it? What's the real issue?
The real issue is, I guess they really do want maybe 12 to 15 people, 50 million people, excuse me, that enter the country illegally, Ashley, to maybe vote in future elections by giving them a path to citizenship. And eventually in states where it comes down to 1 or 2 points, like in every presidential election, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, that can make the difference between a Democratic president and a Republican president. And obviously in the midterms, that has a big impact as well. And John Fetterman, again, the voice of reason in the Democratic Party, a lone voice of reason, it seems. The numbers are the numbers, Ashley. We've talked about them on this show. 84% of Americans overall support voter ID. If you want to get on a plane or rent a car or buy liquor or do whatever you need to do with an ID, I would think the most sacred thing we do in this country as a citizen is vote. You should need voter ID. And oh, by the way, 70% of Democrats support this, 75% of black voters support this, 76% of Latinos support it. They're on the wrong side of this issue by a country mile, yet it probably won't pass in the Senate, Ashley, because they need 60 votes to overcome the filibuster. And right now, outside of Fetterman, no other Democrats seem to be going along.
Before we go, Mr. Concha, I believe I'm hearing someone singing happy birthday. Isn't it your birthday today?
The word is out. Yeah,
It's out.
On Facebook, I'm still 39. It doesn't move my age. It's amazing. So another anniversary to 39th birthday, Ashley. Yeah, what can I say? It's going to be a fun day. My kids are off. Wife is here. We'll have some fun. And joining you is probably the highlight of my day, of course.
It's not President's Day, and thank you for that. It's Joe Concha's birthday, so that's why we're all off. Now I get it. Joe, thank you very much. Have yourself a fun day. Enjoy the cake and everything else. Appreciate it, my friend.